Boom. Do 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 do. Why's my guitar way over there? Oh, goodness. Gnomes. Stupid gnomes coming into my place, moving my guitar around. Gnomes are dumb. Dumb gnomes. Okay, let's get this going, shall we? He kept me company through the long, boring days of practicing my Latin. And learning, practicing my Latin and learning my numbers. At night, my streams as we lay looking up at the stars. Looking up at the stars together. I didn't mind sleeping. We're gonna get really touchy-feely, and you know why we're doing this? This is really goofy, weird, freaking touchy-feely stuff, and you know why we're doing it? We're doing it so we can make them feel bad when the character dies. That's why we're doing it. Yes. 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 Ba 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 ba. Inspector Gadget. Dun 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 dun. This guy just texted me. I moved here a year and a half ago and I'm still got stuff to unpack and organize. Alright. That's life. Organization breeds readiness. That's life. Organization breeds readiness. Dun 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 dun. I sound super deep right now. My wrist smells good. Put the watch back on. There we go. Muhammad Vun.rent. I rent you too. That's one of those like old timey Middle Eastern really nice words, right? That's just like rent. It's like when you say you're beautiful or you're worth money, you're worth gold, you're worth rent. Yeah, I am. I'm definitely worth rent. You can pay for my rent. Let's go. At night, I'd tell him my dreams, not streams. I'd tell him my dreams as we lay looking up at the stars. I didn't mind sleeping. With the lilies. Or lilies. I didn't mind sleeping with the lilies. Or in the stables on a cold night. Henry more than keep me warm through the cold darkness. I don't like that. Let's try it a different way. Henry was more than able to keep me warm through... Henry was more than capable of keeping me warm through the twilight hours. What the heck? How does it not know I'm trying to spell twilight? I'm clearly trying to spell twilight. Just help a brother out. So close. Twilight. The Twilight Saga. Have you guys read those books? They're not the best, but they're also not the worst, if you know what I'm saying. Never too late. Don't let your dreams be memes. Oh, my friend just bought a car. That's neat. What kind of car? Alright, let's focus. Focus. This is why I live stream, so that I can, like... This is my focus time. I'm focused on this. This is what we're doing. Henry was more than capable of keeping me warm through the twilight hours. I love it. It's so nice and kind and touching. It's just so beautiful. It's such a beautiful thing. Let's see here. Dun 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 dun. Okay. Now that's ready to go. Okay. Henry was more than capable of keeping me warm throughout the twilight hours. Throughout the twilight hours. Nearing bloodshed. That's a good way to put it. Sense of security knowing I was riding into battle with my best friend. Just before the trumpets sounded our charge, just before the horns Horns sounded our charge. Horns, not trumpets, because we were talking about medieval ages, and we want to make things sound older. So not trumpets. That sounds way too. When I hear trumpets, I think of colonial warfare. This is not colonial warfare. This is military might of a knight. This is knight warfare, knighthood warfare. Just before the horns sounded our charge. My growing fear of the slaughter was about to take place. The growing fear of the slaughter. Here, I started with I'm just going to keep everything past tense. He walked through the combat. We did. Henry turned every which way. Which way? Never allowing a blow much chance to build up steam. Most strikes fell. Most strikes fell harmlessly against our sides. Sure. My legs might... Sure, my legs might have a few bruises on them next day. In spectacular fashion. causing the bodies to pile high. Oh man, I need to stop looking at my TikTok, but it's pretty cool when people do this. Liked your comment. I do this when I'm annotating. Keep different passages in mind, etc. Ba-ba-ba. Red means I'm going to use the quote directly. Blue means I need to research the topic or is it's interesting. Green means I need to read it again or send it to someone else for them to read. Pink means I don't think what they're saying is correct and I need to research to find out. Yep, yep, yep. Yep, yep, yep. Pa, 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 pa. I didn't know that. On TikTok, did you guys hear that? On TikTok, if you type in who, the captions put it up to the World Health Organization. That's super weird. That's really weird. Why would it do that? I don't understand why it does that. Why does it think that we're talking about the World Health Organization, not simply saying the word who? Saying the word who is way simpler an explanation. Way simpler an explanation. That's definitely what we're doing. Come on, people. Come on now. Oh, TikTok. I love you and I hate you. We have a love-hate relationship. Oh, that's a good way to say it. We have a love-hate relationship. I should write that down. I bet nobody's ever said that before. Love-hate relationship. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm, 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 mm. Mm. All right, guys. Oh my God, what if books are really just authors working through their trauma? My reply: this is why I don't let people I'm dating read my work. Yeah. Meanwhile, my sword hammered down upon heads and shoulders, causing. Meanwhile, my sword hammered down, splitting heads and shoulders, causing the bodies to pile high. Helmets. Helmets are excellent protection against. the full force of my heavy steel split. Heavy steel split apart. Helmets are excellent protection against slashing blows, but the full force of my heavy steel split apart. Helmets are excellent protection against slashing blows, but the full force of my heavy steel split apart more than one armored helmet that day. I had driven Henry. In those seconds, I felt a fearful numbness that screamed of not wanting to be alone. Yeah. Okay, this is good. This is getting good. Screamed of not wanting to be alone. Let's think for a moment. Ooh, we have a question. Ba 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 ba. Okay, so when it comes to writing a good book, any story, writing anything, make it interesting, make it exciting, make it something that people want to enjoy. Too many people just write what they think people want, or they write and they drone on trying to make themselves sound smart, or they use big words to make themselves, sound intelligent. And the reality is, people just want to be entertained. If you are entertained, more often than not, someone else is going to be entertained too. Write for your audience, and in my opinion, your audience should be yourself. Your audience should be your target market. So for me, my target market, 20 and 30-year-olds, and typically it's, well, girls too, but men. I mean, let's let's write to people who want to have exciting stuff. I'm not going to bore you with some lame love story about a vampire and a werewolf who don't actually kill people. That's not my kind of book. It's not my cup of tea. My cup of tea is spicy. Put some habanero sauce in that tea. That's my tea. That is my tea. Hmm. In that moment, hmm. Polearms. Pollards? No, polearms. Right? Oh my gosh. Know what I'm trying to say. Know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, polearms. I'm spelling it right. It's definitely polearms. Henry moved. When that wasn't enough, All throughout Henry's murderous dance, I held on tight. Hook had dismounted me, and now I was. My dear Henry would fight, fight. My dear Henry would fight till the coming of Christ. Till the coming of Christ. My dear Henry would fight till the coming of Christ. Before he'd let one man. My friend just asked, what are you live streaming? Write with me on YouTube. My dear Henry would fight till the coming of Christ before he let one man lay a hand on me. Hmm. Soon there were 3 more bodies laying near me. And fight he did. Soon there were 3 more bodies laying next to me, and several men had hoof-shaped dents. I wouldn't be surprised if... I wouldn't be surprised. After our scuffle. It's a good way to say it, right? Good way to say it. Why does this keep popping up? This bar, this dock. The dock is supposed to be over there on that monitor, but it's not. It's on this monitor. Turn hiding on. Yeah, keep the hiding turned on. Stupid. And this stupid thing keep coming up. Remind me later. Stupid. Sometimes, guys. Sometimes you just gotta. You just want to strangle. Strangle them. Strangle them. Strangle them. Is that too loud? Am I doing it too loud? Remind me later. Stupid. Let's hear. Let's listen to myself. Sometimes you just gotta. You just want to strangle. Strangle them. Strangle them. Strangle them. Is that too loud? Good. I'm glad it's not too loud because I can hear it just fine. It says it's peaking in Streamlabs that I'm using, but apparently not. Apparently it's actually not doing what Streamlabs says it's doing. It sounds fine. It doesn't sound like it's peaking. It doesn't sound like I'm breaking the mic. I wouldn't be surprised if a few bones didn't quite sit correctly after our scuffle. Had hoof-shaped dents in their plate armor. I wouldn't be surprised if a few bones didn't quite sit correctly after our scuffle. Let's take quite out of there. Before I could make a move, I saw a line forming on the other side. the fire rate of the archers. What army would want to slow down the fire rate of the archers? These bows had to be cranked, which seems silly to me. What army would want to slow down the fire rate of the archers? Now, this is actually I didn't expect the story to go this route, but I like it because it's actually bringing a very real critique of what happened when people went from your traditional recurve bow to the crossbows that we see now throughout history, or that we saw, going into the 14th century and the 13th century. Volley! Volley. Okay, let's go. I never imagined they'd purposefully hurt my boy, but I suppose he'd kill one too many of their countrymen. And we can italicize this, make it look all cool. Combat takes everything from a good man. Combat takes everything from a good man. Okay, let's go through now. Good job, guys. Good job. We did it. Go us. Go us. Let's take just a quick second here. Let's go on Twitter. Like 2 of your tweets. At 3 p.m. I'll be live streaming another. This is why I don't let people I'm dating read my work. Let's go to TikTok. TikTok. 3 likes. Yeah, 3 new likes. One of them on my Star Wars video, Real Star Wars, and the other one on my nerd video. I'm going to have to record some more TikToks tomorrow. Yes, I will. I will record more TikToks tomorrow. What do I need to do tomorrow? Tomorrow, well, I definitely need to get the podcast out. Let's make a list real quick. Let's make a list of things I'm going to do tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow, I am going to, 1, record horse podcast. 2, make TikToks. And 3, I will... Is that all I'm doing tomorrow? What else do I need to get done tomorrow? You know what? Let's do those 2 things. Let's have editing friends look over a knight's best friend. Because let's be honest, this needs some editing. It's a good story. We've got the bones of a great story, but it needs some editing. Let's be real now. 4. Excuse me. Write out Declassified Maximum Security Survival Guide chapter. Let's do another Declassified Maximum Security Survival Guide chapter. That's a good use of our time. Good use of our time. Yes, I like it. I like it a latte. A latte. I like it a latte. We're going to need to look at the analytics of some of these live streams too and figure out what we can live stream better or how we can do it better. If you guys have any notes on how to live stream, please leave a comment about how to live stream better, or just in general, just how to live stream better, how to get people here. And if you like the live stream, make sure that you share it with other people. Yeah. And of course, engagement keeps me engaged, so if I'm not talking enough for you while I'm writing or editing, just be like, hey, you should do this. Okay. Yes. Okay. I like it. 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 Okay. I like it. I like it. I like it. Save. All right. Let's go through and edit the whole thing, shall we? Should I stop the live stream and then start another live stream about editing? Maybe. I'll think about it. What I need to do is do this kind of stuff on TikTok. Hey, look, somebody liked my video. Interesting. I got a random like. I got 2 random likes from a video that's like been forever ago. Like I posted this video a month ago and it's just now getting a like or two. That's so weird. TikTok is weird, guys. TikTok is weird. I think it's funny people talking about how gross the Smasher Pass is on Disney characters. Like, come on. It's a joke. No one's actually going to have sex with any Disney character except Mulan. Um... So funny. There we go. We are good to go, guys. Okay, let's get this editing done. The man's face was gone in an instant. As the horse's teeth sank deep into the man's cheeks, it tore away all resemblance of flesh. Left was... Let's take out simply. Never, ever, ever leave too many words, guys. Too many words is no bueno. Let me tell you. Just... It's not worth it. Don't do it. Don't leave too many words. At the end of the day, what you want is fewer words. Never use 2 words when one will do. Someone really famous said that, and I used to know who it was. Left was a talking skull, screaming into the horrors of warfare. I am a knight. I am a knight because my father was a knight, and his father before him. As such, I inherited from my father all the resources a man needs to be a great knight. Mostly land, an education, an ability to read Latin, and most importantly, a proper lord to serve. Many consider fighting the highest occupation. Highest occupation. Many consider fighting the highest glory. The highest glory for a knight. But that simply is not true. Many consider fighting the Many consider fighting the highlight Many consider fighting the highlight of a knight's life, but that simply is not true. Most of my days are spent governing and governing admirably, without well-tended land, with goodly tenants to tend it, without well-tended land, without well-tended land, and without well-tended land and goodly tenants to tend it. Without well-tended land, comma, and goodly tenants to tend it, comma, a knight cannot be a proper knight. That being said, warfare is always a looming possibility, one any decent man dreads. At a moment's notice, my lord or king can call upon the land's people to fight. I must, of course, rally my men and prepare them to meet the charge. The charge, not this charge. I must, of course, rally my men and prepare them to meet the charge with honor. Just like my men, I am nervous and do not relish the honor of combat. In my limited experience, the risks far outweigh the rewards. However, sometimes the land must be defended and potential threats stamped out before they become too unruly to deal with. These are all great points, by the way. I'm making great points here. If you don't know a lot about the knights and the warfare that they took and they went through, look it up. It is so cool what some of these knights went through. It is really the neatest thing. I mean, it's awful, but it's pretty impressive what they did in order to both inflict harm and to protect themselves and defend themselves in combat. Just the way the armor has progressed over the years, or progressed throughout the 14th, 15th century. Well, 12th, 13th, 14th. The 14th is really when like plate armor was everywhere. The 13th is when things started to get good. The 12th is when armor was decent. And before then, you had pockets of really good armor. The Romans had really good armor before the 12th. But if you're thinking like English knights fighting, the Danes, the Saxons, that's all. Danes and Saxons fighting is 900 AD. It's when you get into the 12th and 13th century, they get really good, like Frankish troops, England and France fighting each other, and you get these massive battles of knights on horseback. And you think traditional knights, you're thinking 13th century, really, 13th, 14th. Of course, the fear of being sent to war only comes a few times in the year. Comes a few times within a year. Of course, the fear of being sent to war only comes a select few times a year. Period. Of course, the fear of being sent to war only comes a select few times a year. This is, of course, spring. This is, of course, spring. The summer is far too hot for combat. A man dressed head to toe in armor is more likely to die of heat stroke than he is actually being injured. A man dressed head to toe in armor is more likely to die of heat stroke than he is actually being injured. Fall is no good. That's harvest season. Without a good harvest, there's no surviving winter. Food creation and Food creation and storage are vital for any populace to maintain order. Without a full belly, men are liable to turn disagreeable. A well-fed people are a happy people. 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 I like that. I like the comma there. Winter can't be fought in because it's too cold. Hold. Cold. Winter can't be fought in because it's too cold, and no one wishes to fight in the snow. Frostbite will destroy an army faster than a sea of arrows. A siege in the snow, the castle would always prevail. No, spring is clearly the only time for warfare to commence. Even then, the art of war usually happens late spring. You see, no one can fight properly in the mud. Slipping around, falling down, not able to stand and swing with any strength behind the strike. Why, a boy with a dirk would be deadlier. Rain stops. Even then, the art of war usually happens late spring. In all my days, I've never heard of a battle being fought in the rain. In all my days, reading all my books, in all my days, reading all my books, I've never heard of a battle being fought in the rain. You see, no one can fight properly in the mud. Slipping around, falling down, not able to stand and swing with any strength behind the strike. Not able to stand. Not able to stand. Not able to stand or swing with any strength behind the strike. Why, a boy with a dirk would be deadlier than a grown man in heavy plate armor. A boy with a dirk would be deadlier than... Why... Okay. Why on earth would it be... Is it telling me that then is wrong? It's not wrong. It's definitely than. Not then, than. Why a boy with a dirk would be deadlier than a grown man in heavy plate armor. At least the boy would be able to jump around and move in the mud, not to mention what the liquid dirt would... Not to mention what the liquid dirt would do to wagons. No one would be able to maintain any reliable supply line. Without a good supply line, hunger will defeat the largest army quicker than the plague. This is why when the older men say when the older men say it will be a dry spring, say it will be a it'll be a dry spring. This is why when the older men say it'll be a dry spring, what they mean is I like it'll better than it will. It'll be a good time for war. This is of course nonsense. There is no good time for war. Battles are nothing but hell, make no mistake about it. Good men are sent to the slaughter for the possibility of riches. More often than not, instead of bringing back sex a bounty, they leave a family without a provider. They leave mouths unfed. Their death is the precursor to the deaths of their children. Am I a good writer or what? That is beautifully written. The slaughter for the possibility of riches. More often than not, instead of bringing back sacks of bounty, they leave a family without a provider. They leave mouths unfed. Their death. But still, war must be waged, and it takes men to do. And it takes men to wage it. Still, but let's take out but. Still, war must be waged, and it takes men to wage it. Every time it's the same. The men who haven't seen combat are excited and filled with adrenaline. Those who have known war and the death that awaits them those who have known war and the death that awaits them, comma, fill up on liquid courage to assist in getting through it. I myself am quite drunk by the time battle is upon us. I myself am quite drunk when the army finally lines up. Lines up for battle. I myself am quite drunk. I myself am thoroughly. I don't quite like how I'm saying that. I myself am thoroughly. I myself am thoroughly bubbly. I myself am thoroughly bubbly when the army finally lines up for battle. However, I am nowhere near as afraid as some of my men. I, like the other knights, have been trained for combat since I was a young boy. On top of that, I am not in simple armor like the peasants that are now soldiers. The mightiest sword will have a difficult time finding a death blow against the metallic defenses protecting my body. I am covered head to toe in padding. I am covered head to toe in padding, comma, mixed with boiled leather. I am covered head to toe in padding, mixed with boiled leather. Rings of toughened mail sit Rings of toughened mail sit under a full body of plated armor. Sit under a full body of plated armor. The likelihood of a knight dying in combat is as close to zero as possible. Not to mention the fact that a knight was worth gold. Not to mention the fact that a knight. Not to mention the likelihood of a knight dying in combat is as close to zero as possible. Zero. The likelihood of a knight dying in combat is as close to zero as possible. Not to mention the fact that a knight is worth gold. The enemy would much rather capture and ransom a knight back to his lord than kill him. Plus, it's highly profitable to capture a full coat. Not to mention the fact that a knight is worth gold. The enemy would much rather capture and ransom a knight back to his lord than kill him. The enemy would much rather capture and ransom a knight back to his lord than kill him. Plus, it's highly profitable to capture a full set of armor. But the reason I feel safe, safer than any piece of armor could ever make me, is that I never go into battle alone. I always ride into combat atop my best friend, my horse Henry. Best friend. Horse Henry. Now, horses are the backbone of any civilized society. They are used for transportation, pulling carriages of people or wagons full of needed supplies. They're used for transportation, pulling carriages of people or wagons full of needed supplies. They are used in farming. A good horse They're used throughout farming. Itchy. There we go. They're used throughout farming. A good horse can do the work of 10 men in half the time. This is especially true in field work. Why, in my opinion, a good horse breeder is worth 3 blacksmiths. And nearly 100 carpenters. Go on. But my boy Henry is no ordinary horse. He is a war horse. War horses are bred, trained, and disciplined in their craft. In fact, I dare say Henry has been worked and prepared for warfare far harder and longer than I could ever be. In fact, I dare say Henry has been worked and prepared for warfare far harder and longer than I could ever be. He is smart and knows where to stand, how to approach, and charge any target. With the simple movement of my hips, he dances around the enemy, protecting both of us and setting up the powerful downward swings of my sword. With the simple movement of my hips, he dances around the enemy, protecting both of us, and setting up the powerful downward swings of my sword. My sword isn't the only thing our enemies have to fear. A good war horse is a weapon all unto himself, and Henry is a very good war horse. And Henry is an incredibly skilled. A good war horse is a weapon all unto himself, and Henry is an incredibly skilled war horse. He is strong and fast. He'll knock down an enemy line with his strong chest, buck and kick any soldier who's brave enough to try and surround us, not to mention the deadly bite of Henry's teeth when an unsuspecting soldier gets a little too close. I dare say Henry has killed nearly as many combatants as I have. Horses are smart. They read body language and recognize faces. Henry has no trouble knowing when a man approaches us with ill intent or is a friend. Henry has no trouble knowing when a man approaches us with ill intent. Henry has no trouble knowing when a man approaches us with ill intent. Period. When in doubt, make the sentence smaller. You know the nice thing about writing and making things shorter and smaller? There are less chances for you to fuck up on it. I dare say Henry has killed nearly as many combatants as I have. Horses are smart. They read body language and recognize faces. Henry has no trouble knowing when a man approaches us with ill intent. This war horse has a sixth sense about such things, and he makes no qualms about using it in the heat of battle. Mm-hmm. Na ba ba bum 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 bum. Ba da 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 bum 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 ba bum bum ba dum bum bum ba dum bum 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 bum. Let's think for a moment. Okay, we're in it. Let's focus on the work we're doing. Horses are smart. They read body language and recognize faces. Henry has no trouble knowing when a man approaches us with ill intent. This war horse has a sixth sense about such things, and he makes no qualms about using it in the heat of battle. Sixth sense about such things, making him invaluable when in the heat of battle. Period. This war horse has a sixth sense about such things, making him invaluable when in the heat of battle. My legs wrapped in protection keep me secure on his back. My legs wrapped in protection keep me secure on his back, comma, and make it so hitting me with a decent blow is quite difficult. With a substantial my legs wrapped in protection keep me secure on his back and make hitting me with a substantial blow quite difficult. Now, taking out Henry is obviously an option. But not one any respectable person seriously considers. Who would want to kill a horse? Horses are far too valuable, especially a good war horse like Henry. Horses aren't killed in combat. At worst, they are captured and either kept or sold for profit. Of course, accidents have been known to happen, so I still protect my Henry. He is covered in mail and padded fabric. He is a smart horse, a good horse, a creature I loved dearly. Of course, accidents have been happened, so I still protected Alright, hang on. I fucked up. I messed up. I dare say Henry has killed nearly as many combatants as I have. Horses are smart. They read body language and recognize faces. Henry has no trouble knowing when a man approaches us with ill intent. This war horse has a sixth sense about such things. Okay. I need to make sure everything is in the past tense. I've just been going with how does the word sound, and I haven't been focusing on past or future tense. But it's getting late. It's 10:30. Everybody, I hope that you enjoyed the story. I think that it's a good story. Yeah, I like it. I'm liking it a latte. And I hope you do too. So if you have any questions or concerns or any interests that you'd like to bring up, please feel free to leave a comment. And as always,